What's going on, boys? No guys here. Welcome back to another Metax video. Today's video we're going over the 4-3-2-1. I've been here, just been working on some things behind the scenes. So if you're wondering where the meta week of tactics came out, there's been no update, so you can just follow the week before. Honestly, it was exactly the same. There was no point making a video. If I don't make a tactic for that week, just remember that it's probably the same as last week. So if you don't see any changes, do bear that in mind. Now, we're going over the 4-3-2-1. We went over Ethan's tactics, the one where the champion, of course, with the left back goes forward. People are saying, I just want the regular 4-3-2-1. I don't want to use hug the sidelines. I don't want anyone going from left back because as you know, he's a top tier player, but if an average player takes that into account, they lose. Even with my changes and modifications, it still is a difficult formation to play. But the reason I want to focus on this one is three things, and that all comes with the attackers. Now, it's a risk the way that you play this. We're not defending in a 4-4-2 like this. What you want to do is you want to get it behind on all these players. Now, why is this so important? It's because most people they traditionally play is they play traditionally a back four. You're seeing now more back fives as well. But either way, whatever formation you do play is, these three players in the middle in particular, right? When they go forward, they're up against two players. Now, have you ever wondered, like how people always say this analogy to me, it's part of like the Red Sea kind of, if someone or your striker makes a run it behind, it drags defenders away. But when there's three players up against two defenders, you have more players getting. That's how people's defense gets completely dispersed and broken apart. If you're ever wondering how that happens, it's a combination of the L1 trigger and a specific formation like this. So we're going to talk about how to use this and we're going to go through it. Let's first go through the tactics, then we'll come back to the instructions. Now for the defensive style, look, you can go balanced, but I would recommend pressure on heavy touch. I think obviously coming around team of the season at this time of the year, stamina's not really an issue, but pressure on heavy touch, think of it this way, it's balanced, but the team only AI press when there's a good chance you win the ball. So think about it like kind of like team press only for a short period of time when the game, think statistically speaking, there's a good chance you win the ball. It does work pretty well, and that's why I keep it. For the width, we're not defending in any 4-4-2, anything funky like that. The simple 4-3-2-1, simple 45. Now, for the depth, this is, I would say, one of those formations where you have to be mindful. And the reason why I say that is you have no CDM. You have no cut passing lanes. So as I mentioned over, any higher than 55, I would say, is the limit. I would probably even potentially even suggest bringing this down to 40, using it first and then bringing it to 50. It's not because any defenders are going forward, it's just because you have no CDMs, you've got no protection. We are defending with 3 centre mids and other 3 on stay forward as well. So you only have 3 players in midfield. So you don't want to be too high. You can win the ball up high up the pitch with pressure on every touch anyway with your 3 strikers. And don't forget the tactic will kick in when you got a good chance. So here you're pretty balanced, you're pretty rigid. It's still a very attacking formation. You don't want to be overly attacking. Then we go to the build-up play. Absolutely do not use slow build-up play. Never with this formation. You can go fast build-up play, but I always say long ball. It's probably the best tactic ever. You know, long ball I've been using since they kind of revamped FIFA 19 tactics altogether since FIFA 18. And it's honestly been my go-to. You're seeing even more pro players use long ball now because of their play style. But especially if you lack that L1 button, that long ball, especially if you're playing like me, like when I play lazily, I'm not really paying attention too much. I'm a bit lazy. I'm watching TV or on Discord call, whatever. L1 button. Sometimes you forget to use it, but the game will help you. Don't forget, long ball just means getting behind, but it's important for one, the center mids, and I'll go through that in a second as well. Chance creation, forward runs, I'll say old gen, new gen direct passing for this formation. Now, for the width, you can leave it on 50. Now, the biggest confusion people always say to me is, with the 3 strikers, how does it work for someone else, but it doesn't work for me? Is it because the attack is not wide enough? Is it because they're not too narrow enough? In fact, when the attack being narrower is actually better with this formation because of the way your 3 strikers will be positioned up against your 2 opponent centre backs or 3. Players in the box, we left this on 6. Corners and free kicks, however you want. Now, this is where the most important thing is. When you get the ball with your centre mids, you have to, no matter what, use the L1 or if you're on Xbox, LB with these players. That is how, if you're up against, you're going to weekend league or you're playing rivals and your defense keeps getting split apart by one striker running and your defender follows and your whole defense split apart, this button is the most important. If this doesn't work for you, played this formation, come back to this video and skip to this section. Remember this, the L1 button. Send 2 players on runs. One of them's going to go on a run. You're going to have 2 strikers left. That is why you want to leave them all on get it behind. If you put them on stay central, for example, they're going to stay in the middle only. Let them do their own thing. Because, for example, Ginola, for example, might get in behind and might run down the wing. And that way that might drag his left centre back out of position. But then you have Pedro and Bamba together up against his one defender. So that's the way I'm saying. So leave this all on get it behind, stay forward. Yes, it is very attacking. That's why I didn't want to be too overly aggressive with the defensive style. But we put them all on stay forward. So if you're not comfortable defending in a 3-back, you can always put one of these players on comeback and defense. But for this formation to really work and for you to really get the counter attack, the L1 triangles, you know what I'm talking about. You need the front 3 to be on stay forward and get it behind. You can always fine tune it. I might say to you, the key with formations is, because everyone always asks me this, look, someone get 20 and 0 with one tactics, but say, why can the other person get 5 and 15? Well, the thing is, you're not doing the basics, you're not going to win anyway. The key thing is adjusting it for your playstyle. If you know you're not good at defending, you can always put one player and come back and defense. The CDM, which I would like to be an acting centre mid, stand into the box, cover centre. This is just going to be the player that's going to sit there, sit back. I got Vieira there. No intention for him to ever go forward. This is the guy who protects the back 4. He's not going to have cut passing lanes, so he's going to be basically on his own. Stay back, stand into the box, and cover centre. That's the way that we have it. To be honest, I know there's some people that put this as a player to be more attacking. I wouldn't really entertain it, to be honest. I just think it's way too attacking. The way that I do it is one of the centre mids. So what we do is we put both of them on cover centre because we have 3 centre mids. We want them all 3 to be in the middle. We've got no left back and right back going forward here. The way that I do it is I put one of my attackers. So for example, I'll have, for example, a 4-man attack. Ginola, Pedro, Bamba and Griezmann. I would put someone in centre mid. Sometimes I put Ginola there because Ginola can play that centre mid role very well. He's got that physical presence. He's fast. He can actually run back and defend. He can do that job very, very well. Sometimes I may put Griezmann there because he's more agile on the ball, so I can bring the ball going forward. Because Rabiot and Vieira are a bit more clunkier. So this would be the play that will cover centre. So when you're defending, sit in the middle. When you're attacking, you want this player to go forward into the middle. So the idea is when you get the ball with the likes of Vieira, Rabiot, you're going to be triggering all these players going forward. His left centre back, right centre back is going to be gone. So you basically got worst case scenario, you've got a 3 versus 2. Or very worst case scenario, a 3 versus 3 up against a 5-back. But once Griezmann comes into the equation, or you're less in the mid, then you have that 4th player, the extra man, the 3rd man in midfield, creating a 4-man attack. It's honestly, if you know how to attack and trigger, it's almost undefendable from counter attacks. That's the key. Because your opponent has 3 players to deal with on stay forward if they're not committing a left back or right back already, and then you've got the centre mid join the attack. So naturally, Vieira has his back. He's always sitting back, should I say. Then for the right centre mid, now this is where it gets a bit of a weird one. If you struggle defensively, put this player on stay back. So this is why I say, guys, you have to adjust the formation for your playstyle. Do you think a pro player goes on YouTube, copies the tactics? They may do that, but they don't keep it as it is. They might look at, for example, what another pro player is doing, but they will adjust it for their playstyle. If you know that Rabiot, or let's say, for example, you're not that good at defending, then just put that player on stay back. That way you've got 2 players always at the back. You could think of it like a 4-4-2 with just your Griezmann in an awkward position when you're attacking. Change it up if you don't like it. I would recommend leaving it on balance, but I think, to be honest, for most players here, it will be too attacking because you already got the left-hand side going forward, but you can always adjust it if you want to. Griezmann, the only difference is you put him on get into the box for a cross. Otherwise, they're both on cover centre for both the tactics. Both centre-backs stay back while attacking. Left-back, right-back. Now, as I said, we have the other formation where the left-back goes forward and kind of the Griezmann's on cover wing. You probably saw that. That's when I redid Ethan's tactics with my twist on it. We just got them both on stay back and overlap. If you really want to have them or add them to join the attack, you can simply press just the L1 button. Simple as that. That's kind of the easy solution of bringing them forward. That way they don't go forward on their own all the time. But that is anyway the 4-3-2-1 custom tactics and instructions. I hope you enjoy this video. And by the time this video should be uploading, Arsenal, fingers crossed, should be winning against Man City. That's a story for another day. I'll make it, you know what? I've been lucky, I've been going to the Arsenal matches this season. I'll make it end of the season video on my channel with Arsenal tactic with some gameplay as well. That's coming soon as well. But anyways, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to get better at FIFA, you can come to my FIFA School Series, patreon.com/Neil, guys. Links down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money as usual. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. And of course, catch you next time. Peace out.